Hey everybody, it's Jonathan. Welcome to my AI prompting masterclass. So happy you're able to join me today. I am really excited. I want to make sure before I jump in though, earlier today I had a little problem with my equipment. Want to make sure I've got the right mic. I do. Look at that. All right. Very cool. So everything looks like it's coming through well. Today we're going to talk about AI prompting. If any of you have been spending any time following me at all, you're aware of my philosophy probably, and that is very simply I don't believe you need a bunch of AI tools in order to leverage AI effectively in your organization, for your business, for your job. I believe you simply need to learn how to communicate with it, and then you can use the right tool for your job, for your business. And the right tool, in my mind, is likely going to be either ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, or Perplexity. We can talk about graphics. We'd have Dali, we'd have Midjourney and Leonardo, something like that we can talk about. But for most of what we're doing, most of our prompting falls into what are the large language models or the text-based models like ChatGPT and Claude. So today, that's exactly what we're going to go over. I'm going to share with you exactly how to communicate with them, how to effectively prompt, and we're going to get you out of here as quickly as we can because I want to let you start practicing learning how to prompt effectively and get the best possible responses. While we're getting started, I want to let you know you guys are welcome to comment in the chat. I'll be watching that as we go along. If you have any questions as we go along, please just let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer those. When I'm done, I am going to have a promo for you guys, as well as the fact that I'll be answering questions. So if you have questions, again, throw them over in the comments and I'll see them pop up in the chat. So with that, let's jump right on in. Like I mentioned, today I want to talk about AI prompting and why AI prompting is so important, because it's really about how we communicate with AI in order to get the best possible responses. So one of the things I thought I'd start with was talking just a little bit about what can you expect if maybe you're new to AI, maybe you've not used it a lot, maybe you've been kind of in the sidelines going, oh, I don't know. Well, I want to talk to you about some of the key things you can use this for. Hey, Jeff, welcome to see you on 4:30 in the morning in Manila, and Jeff is with us. That's cool. If you guys want to jump in on the prompt or in the comments, tell us where you're from. I'll be happy to do a call out for you as well. That's great. We've got somebody else, Woodcrafter in your pocket. Love it. Love to see you here. We got some others I can see from the numbers are growing, but feel free to jump in the comments. As I mentioned, if you're new to AI, though, and you're wondering, what do I do? What things can I do? Here are some of the main things that I find AI to be really helpful for. First, brainstorming. I'll admit, I've got ADD and I've got new ideas every few minutes, it seems like. And AI is a great tool to help me brainstorm my way through. It's also super helpful for communications, especially email communications. It's great whether I need to write a memo, whether I need to write an email, whatever it is, it's really, really good all the way across the board. And I want to encourage you to consider using it for that. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you guys ever had an email that you needed to write and you knew, well, what you wanted to say maybe was a little bit different than what you were going to type or what you should type? Well, ChatGPT can help you with that. And when I say ChatGPT, by the way, just so you guys know, that is going to apply equally to the prompting today, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Google Gemini, whether that's Claude, or whether that's Perplexity. These prompts and the framework I'm going to teach you today apply universally. All right, other things it's great for. Audience targeting. If you guys do any marketing, or if you'd like to do any marketing with AI, put a 1 in the comments. Just let me know. I can spend more time or less time on marketing, but if you'd like to leverage AI to do more and help you do better marketing, just throw a 1 over in the comments, because one of the things it's really good at is helping us write marketing campaigns, write ads, do social media, and audience targeting. AI knows so much about so many people that if we understand our audience, it's a great way to help us target our marketing to them. So that's great. Oh, love to see that. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the ones. That's fantastic. Another thing, I mentioned emails as far as communication. I mentioned social media as far as communications. Another thing I love it for is standard operating procedures. Oh, Woodcrafter, glad to see you're from Iowa. Thank you. You're probably getting the same weather I am. I hope it's not as rainy by you as it is here. But hey, it's great for standard operating procedures. If you run a business or work in a business, you know how important it is that you have standard procedures that you and your team can follow. And it's really important to get those set up. It sometimes can be really daunting, though. And ChatGPT makes that process so easy because it can help you put together really well thought out standard operating procedures. We all talk about image generation. If you're in my AI group, some of you are, I'll put a link up a little bit later for that. AI groups Rick says he's point 0.5. He doesn't know if he wants to use it for marketing or not. Rick, thanks for joining us. I know I talked to you this morning. Glad to have you on here. Love your sense of humor. If you guys are trying to figure out how to generate cool images for marketing or just for fun, it's great to do that. You'll notice all of the images I have today are kind of cartoonish, Pixar styled. They all, by the way, are from Midjourney, and I'll share with you the prompt that I used to get those as well. I need to apologize. I've got some allergies, guys, here, so I will always try to grab the mute mic whenever I can. If I miss it, I apologize in advance. And then another one that I love is review responses. You guys know a lot of times we're talking to entrepreneurs, and probably one of the biggest frustrations that I ever get is when somebody leaves me a one-star review and I have no idea who they are. They maybe didn't work with me. Maybe they were never a client, or maybe they did and they just saw things totally different. I can tell you responding emotionally is not the way to do things. You want to respond practically and logically, and AI can help you do that. It takes some of that emotion out and gives you good professional responses. By the way, a tip for you, if you ever do get a negative review, statistics show us that people love to look at your negative reviews, not to find out if you're getting any, but they want to see how you respond to them, because it tells them a lot about your business if you respond appropriately to a negative review. In other words, non-emotionally. So use tools like that in order to gain that benefit. I think you'll find that getting those review responses really helps your business overall. So those are just some of the things that we can do. I see Chris says she'd love to get in my AI group. Chris, I'd love to have you there. Let me go ahead really quickly and grab you that link so that you can link to it if you're interested. Of course, I probably don't have that handy. Let's see here a minute. See if I can find it really quickly. Oh, let's see. Here we go. I think we've got it. Let's see if I paste that. Nope. Oh, Jeff did it. Jeff, thanks to the rescue. Jeff posted it. There's a link. If you guys are not in my free AI group, you're welcome to join. Jeff, thank you very much for posting that link. Very grateful for you. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go into our next slide here. So one of the most common questions I get asked around prompting is, what in the world is prompting? Why do we call it that? Well, it's just a term that the AI industry uses, and I don't want you to get confused by it. Think of AI prompting just like texting. How many of you guys, you don't have to tell me, and I can't see your hands, but how many of you have texted a friend, a coworker, family today? I know I have. And prompting is very much just like texting. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it's not just about sending the text. That's important. But what's also important, and when you think about prompting being like texting, when you text, if Rick and I talked earlier today, and if I said, hey, Rick, let's go have lunch today, I'm not simply going to leave it with that and trust that Rick's going to understand what time and where we're going to have lunch, or even what day for that matter. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to go back and forth, just like you would in texting. And you need to do the same thing when you're doing prompting. You need to have a conversation with AI. It's not just one prompt and you're done. It's much, much more than that. So have a conversation. Make sure that you've finalized it. Sorry, Rick got my attention. He said, lunch sounds good. If Rick's anything like me, he hasn't had it yet. He's getting hungry. So, but again, have a conversation with AI. Don't just leave it at one prompt. Clarify. Go back and forth. If you don't like the original response, have additional conversation. It is so incredibly important. All right, let's see. Next, we've got, go to the next slide here. So here, we're going to talk about how do we do that. Oh, first, I'm sorry, the tools. So I mentioned up front, there's a number of tools that we talk about. ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Claude. Those are your three large language models, and I'm probably should move Perplexity up here as well, as it's really in the same category. Those are, you want to write in prompts, you get answers back. Those are your models to use. Image-wise, if you want to use images, there's three that I recommend: Midjourney, Dolly, and Leonardo.ai. All do a great job. I will admit, I am partial to Midjourney personally, but I like that a lot. You don't see the link. Let's see here a minute. Chris, I don't know where. I'm going to put that link up here on the screen. There you go. Let me go grab that in a minute. I don't know if that's clickable. That does not look like it's clickable there. Let's see here if I can find a clickable link. We'll get that to you, Chris, in just a second here. At least we're going to try. All right. Well, while we're doing that, I'll work on getting that updated link. We will post it here at the end so you guys can see that as well. Chris, the group is called AI chat GPT prompts for entrepreneurs. That we've got almost 100,000 entrepreneurs in there that'll help you out as well. In addition to myself, I post in there multiple times a day. If you just Google AI, oh, thanks, Jeff. Jeff's going to throw that out. Guys, I got to say a special shout out to Jeff. Jeff's over in Manila, Philippines, and he's on a lot of these calls. And Jeff is a huge asset adding value and just like this. So Jeff, thank you so much. If you've ever run a webinar, you know, sometimes it's hard to juggle all the pieces. I prove that pretty regularly. It's hard to juggle them all, but Jeff is a super help. So Jeff, I really appreciate that. But these are the main tools. I want to give you one bit of caution though. When you sign up for these tools, a lot of these tools do have a sign up. If you guys were paying attention today, ChatGPT had a big announcement. They've released some new things. And one of the things they released today is more features on their free platform. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use Google Gemini and Claude for free. You get more limited use than you do if you update, but you can do that. The same with Perplexity, DALL-E, and Leonardo. They all offer you free. One of them, Midjourney, the only way to use it currently, as we're recording this webinar, is to pay for a subscription. So that's a great way to go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Next slide. So, I mentioned, you be careful where you subscribe to these. If you go into the App Store or things like that, you may see icons, especially for ChatGPT, that look a lot like it, and they're going to charge you more money and not actually give you full access. So when you sign up for these accounts, whether you want to do the free version or you want to do the paid version, please take a screenshot of this, go to these websites. This is where you can sign up for the accounts and know you're getting it done by the appropriate party. You're going to be buying it direct from the developer at this point. So be careful when you sign up. Make sure you get the tools here, and then you'll be protected. All right, so drum roll, please. We're ready to get into the prompt. How do we prompt? Here's how we're going to do it. So we're going to write a sample prompt today of creating an SOP. And let's just imagine for a moment, I need to find an example. I need to make sure that we're talking about, something that we can be relevant on. So the blue text is actually the prompt framework we're going to go through. And then the orange text is, let's assume for just a moment that we run a roofing company and we need to explain to our team how it is they're supposed to enter a home for a service call. So the blue first, step one, we need to tell ChatGPT how it should act. We need to remember, folks, ChatGPT is a vast amount of information. And if we don't give it any context, it's like my wife walking into my office and going, we need to talk. Immediately, I'm going to go, uh-oh, what did I do wrong? What did I forget? Because she's given me no context, and I assume I'm in trouble. On the other hand, if she comes in and says, we need to talk about what we're doing for dinner tonight, now I know exactly where to go and exactly where my mind can focus so that I can have a good conversation. And ChatGPT is no different. You need to give it context and tell it how you want it to act in order to get the best possible response you can do. So the next thing, Rick asked, would that roofing company be above average? Rick, I'm not sure I'm following you if they'd be above average or not, but hopefully, yes, if they created this SOP, they certainly would be. So first is tell it how it should act. Next, we need to give it context. What type of context would we give it in this case? Well, we'd tell it that, for example, this is ABC Roofing. We're based in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We provide residential roofing services. We want to make sure that those are the examples that we could use here. So that's exactly how we would put that together. And we need to give it that background information because if we don't give it any context, again, it's not going to know how to respond. Next, we need to ask it the question. And in step three, this is generally where everybody stops when they're prompting. They just ask it the question. They don't give it any perspective, any background, no context. They just ask the question. And that's often how you're going to get frustrated with AI because it's not going to give you the responses you're looking for. So in this case, tell it what type of response you want. And last, probably the most important in my mind, you need to remember that AI models are taught to make assumptions, to fill in the blanks, because they want us to use these tools. And if they acted like a 3-year-old and every time we asked a question, they went, why, we'd stop using the AI tools. So instead, they're taught to fill in the gaps. And when they fill in the gaps, sometimes they frustrate us because they put the wrong information in. So you get around that very simply by asking it to ask you clarifying questions. So what does this look like? Let's put it all together. Remember, we're ABC Roofing for the example here, and we're trying to figure out how it is that we can create a standard operating procedure for our teams when they're arriving on site at a residence for a service call. We're going to start off by saying you're an expert business consultant. Number two, I want you to create a standard operating procedure for my on-site teams. Number three, please write a comprehensive SOP for my team when entering a home for a service call. And number four, please ask me any clarifying questions you need answered in order to provide me with the best possible response. Now, what you see in orange there is the prompt, and that's what we're going to type in. So we want to, no matter what type of prompt we've got, and if you have some questions, when we get to Q&A, I'll actually help design these prompts for you right live. So if you've got something you want to do, but that's our framework. Guys, I'm telling you, if you follow these 4 steps, your responses that you get out of ChatGPT will be so much better, and you'll be so much happier with the results. So just remember these 4 steps. Again, as a quick recap, tell ChatGPT how you want it to act. Give ChatGPT context. Number 3, tell it what type of response you want. What is your question? And number 4, tell ChatGPT to ask you clarifying questions before giving the best possible response. When you follow that, you're going to get great results. A couple other tips that'll help you, and we'll come back to this slide here in a minute. But remember, when you're prompting, talk to AI just like you would a team member. So if Jeff and I are having a conversation, I wouldn't just walk up to Jeff and say, Jeff, create an SOP. He'd go, what? About what? For whom? What do you mean? I need to talk to ChatGPT just like I would. And I'd walk up to say, Jeff, I'm trying to put together an SOP for when our teams go out on site and they visit a home, what they should do when they arrive. He'd go, great. Then Jeff would probably ask me some clarifying questions. I'd give him that information. We'd go back and forth, and then Jeff could create that SOP for me. AI is the same way. Remember to ask follow-up questions. I talked earlier about having a conversation. Sometimes you're going to get a response back from AI and you're going to go, huh? That didn't make any sense. Ask it to clarify, or go ahead and ask it a follow-up. Give it additional information. I had to this morning say, that's not what I asked for. I asked for this and you gave me that. And it said, oops, yes, I'm sorry. And then it gave me the right answer. Just like a person, it can make mistakes. And so it's important to have that follow-up. The other thing, and this will help out a ton with getting great answers, is if I'm chatting or texting with multiple people, let's say I'm texting with Jeff and I'm texting with Rick and I'm texting with Chris, I'm just picking some names I can see from the chat here. Each one of those on my phone is going to be a unique text conversation. In other words, Jeff won't see what I'm sending to Rick and Chris won't see what I'm sending to Jeff unless we have a group conversation. For this sake, we're not having group conversations. Those are all individual. When you're prompting with ChatGPT or any of the other models, you want to do the exact same thing. You want to make sure that as you're prompting, you keep prompts in a unique chat. So if I'm talking about SOPs, that's going to be in a chat about an SOP. About an SOP. If I'm writing social media posts, that's going to be in a chat about social media posts. If I'm writing a sales letter, that's going to be in a conversation about a sales letter. Each one of those should be separate conversations because ChatGPT will remember the things within that conversation, but not necessarily in the other conversations. And it'll help get you much, much better content overall. So I really want to encourage you as you're doing that, make sure you put your chats together. Now, some potential pitfalls. Are there pitfalls with AI? Yep, there are. And you need to be aware of them in order to use it effectively. Now, before I go on, does that mean you shouldn't use it because there's problems? No, that doesn't mean that at all. I can drive any vehicle on the market today, and I promise you, even a brand new one is going to have some problems. Does that mean that I don't use it, that I don't have a way to get back and forth to work, to go to the grocery store? No, I'm going to buy a vehicle if I need one because I need transportation. And in AI model's case, we need these tools. They do a great job. They help us be more efficient, but they're not perfect. And it's important that you understand that. So here's a couple of other things that we can take a look at. One, always proofread. So if we ask it to write an email, a memo, an SOP, a social media post, always proofread. Don't just copy and paste out of AI directly. You will be embarrassed sooner rather than later. The other thing is fact check. Keep in mind that AI models have been trained on all kinds of data. And I'll just ask you guys, in fact, put a 1 in the comments if you would. Have you ever read something, watched a video, or heard something that you found out later wasn't true? If you've ever done that, if you've ever taken any type of content, a news article, a video, anything like that, and you found out later that what you got wasn't true, would you put a one in the comments? Because I think we've all done this. I know I have. I've watched something before. I've watched a video and thought, wow, and only later find out it was total lies. Or I've read an article, maybe something in a magazine or a newspaper, and I found out, nope, that didn't be true. Linda, thank you so much. Jeff found out a lot of that. Rick's found out about that. It's so true. And remember, why is that important to understand? Because guess what? The AI models we're using, they were trained on the right data, and they were probably trained on that wrong data too. Chris says it happens all the time. Because AI was trained on that, sometimes it makes mistakes or sometimes it picks the wrong data. Therefore, it's important that you fact check things and make sure they're right. By the way, if you're looking for an easy way to fact check, it's one of the things I love about perplexity.ai. Perplexity is an AI-based search engine. You can literally go in to it and say, is this true? Type your question and it'll go out to the internet and validate it for you or tell you it can't find anything. Huge, huge tool to do that. As I mentioned, AI is programmed to assume to fill in missing information. So you just need to understand that. And that's one of the reasons we add part 4 to our prompt framework, which is ask me clarifying questions. And also remember that AI should be trained to reflect you or your client's tone and style. It says clients here because I've also given this to a lot of agencies, but it should be trained to reflect your tone and style. In other words, we need to tell it a little bit of information about us in order to get the best information. Jeff makes a great point. He says garbage in, garbage out. Guys, that's so true with AI. If we don't put good stuff in, we're not going to be able to get good results back out. So it is so important to do that. So again, fact check, expect that things won't work. So in addition to the prompt format that I shared you, our prompt framework, and we're going to go back over that in just a minute, I want to give you guys a bonus for sticking with me. We're 20 some minutes into the presentation here. We're just about to get to Q&A, by the way. So if you're ready for Q&A, get those questions ready. We're going to go there in just a moment. But I want to give you something new that I just learned about a month ago. And these are called prompt tags. This is akin to having a yellow highlighter to highlight part of your prompt to ChatGPT. And these prompt tags work with ChatGPT, with Gemini, with Claude, with Perplexity. They work across the board. And why are they called prompt tags? Because again, it's like highlighting part of our prompt. You're going to see I've got some weird characters in here. You may go in, Jonathan, what the heck? Why 3 quotation marks? Well, 3 quotation marks or 3 hashtags, I could have done that as well, that indicates to the AI model that this is something you need to pay attention to. It's basically calling it out and highlighting it, so to speak, with that yellow highlighter. And then you need to put the information that they need to be paying attention to into square brackets. So in this case, 3 quotes, square bracket, and I'm going to put in the style, the character, the tone that I want AI to use as it's creating this SOP, as it's creating this memo, this email, or even the social media post. And then I'm going to close it off with 3 quotation marks or hashtags because that's going to tell AI that was the part to be highlighted. What might that look like in our SOP? Very simply, 3 quotation marks, and then I want it to act as an expert consultant in the home services industry, and I want it to be operationally focused in order to write a great SOP. And by putting that together and highlighting that, that's going to essentially highlight that to ChatGPT and make sure that it pays attention. If you give ChatGPT too many instructions, it will forget some of them. Just like my 16-year-old, if I give him a list of 7 things to do, he's only going to remember 2 or 3. I'm not much better. I'm 55 and I'll probably only get 3 or 4. So not a hit on my 16-year-old. But if you give anybody too many instructions, they forget things. The same can happen with AI prompts. And so we want to make sure we're highlighting the parts that are most significant and the most important to us. Prompt tags allow us to do that. So we're going to go to Q&A for just a moment here. I want to give a special thanks to Jeff. Jeff, you're going to see I've got his name on here. Jeff is a huge help to me in getting these webinars set up and running things through. And Jeff volunteers that, by the way. He doesn't get paid a thing for that. But I told Jeff for helping me out, and I want you guys to help Jeff here. If you're interested in getting my AI course, which I cover all of this information and so much more, we've got 12 full of AI prompting information. It's just $99. I told Jeff I'd offer a special $99 for all of 2024. You get my course, You get all the modules, you get access to a private group, even people like Jeff who can help out. And I told Jeff I was going to give him half of the proceeds for all his help. So if this helps you out, feel free to subscribe, but also do it to help Jeff out, because Jeff's a huge value and he adds a lot of value to me. And I really appreciate him. And he does that all for free. So if you want to give back, you're not obligated to. You don't have to buy my course. But if you want to learn how to leverage AI in your business, you want to learn how to effectively prompt, and you want to have those resources available. Again, over 12 modules. We're updating things every single month in here. And through all of 2024, we're going to continue to do that. That means you've got 7+ months of updates still coming. Just today, OpenAI had some major announcements, and we dealt with that. Those are going to go in probably tonight or tomorrow with new updates that are available. I've already posted updates in the private group about that so that you guys know what's happening right now and right away. So if you want to do that, again, special offer right now. By the way, the special offer is only good until midnight on Wednesday. I had committed to my team that I was going to raise the price on the 1st of May. I didn't. I got busy. I was traveling. It is going up to $197 on Wednesday night or Thursday morning at 12 a.m. This $99 price exclusively being offered to you guys. Scan this QR code or go to that Jeff Veal link there. Just $99 for the entire year. It's not monthly. It's a one-time cost. So enough of that. Enough of me. Excuse me. Sharing about that. Next thing I want to do is I want to go to Q&A. So it's time to answer your questions, everybody. Let's talk about that. Talk to me about what questions you would want answered. Let's throw them down into the chat and I'll answer them. We'll go ahead and get them put up for you. Throw those questions down in the chat. Chris, thank you for the positive comments. I really appreciate that. That's great. Just go ahead and throw those questions in the chat. We'll do that. Maybe you need a prompt that you want some help with. We'll write it right here on screen. I can go share ChatGPT. We can do whatever we need to. If you want to see something, go ahead and let me know so I can answer your questions for you. I would love to be able to do that for you. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and add in my screen so that I can add in my website here in a minute, and we can show you exactly how we want to pull that together. So let's go ahead. You guys can probably see all this, but we're going to go ahead and share ChatGPT, assuming I can find it. I don't know if you guys ever run into that. Just the time you want something, it's no longer where you want it. All right, so let's just go ahead and share this tab. Now, let's see here. We're going to cancel here real quick, and I'm going to go find it on my screen. We'll go back to the Q&A. I'm going to give you guys just a minute to do this while I'm loading up the right screen on my computer so that I can make sure that I'm sharing things with you and we've got access. There we go. Sometimes we just got to be a little bit more creative to be able to get what we want. All right, so I think I'm there. Let's go back to our stream and let's see if I can now share this effectively. And screen, ChatGPT. All right, we can use ChatGPT here. We can use anything else that you guys want to see. So tell me in the comments, what questions would you like to have? What prompts would you like me to create? Notice I'm using ChatGPT's brand new version. They just came out with this at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. So about 4 hours ago, ChatGPT 4.0. It's their absolute newest, most advanced model. Really, really cool. And I'll show you that. So, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What things would you like me to talk about? What's on your mind so we can take a look at that? Let's see, we've got a couple of comments coming in, I think. Any questions? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to walk through one with you guys then, and just let's see how this all comes together. We'll create a brand new one. So let's say that we want to create a prompt on, let's say I got a good one. We need to explain to a client that we have a, let's see, what would be a good policy to explain? How about, let's say that we're a retail store and we have a policy that we can't take back any apparel that's been worn, that's been purchased. So we're going to follow our prompt system. First, we need to tell ChatGPT who it is. So you are an expert customer service consultant who specializes. I can't type and talk at the same time, you guys. I apologize for that. in crafting quality and professional communications to share bad news with customers. So that's who you are. Some context. I'm a manager at ABC Apparel, and I need to let a customer know that I can't take back the shoes that they bought, as the shoes have been worn and soiled. Next, I needed my question. Please write a an email explaining our policy that we cannot take back used merchandise. We even say used or soiled merchandise. And then I'm going to end it with, please ask me any clarifying questions you may have prior to giving me your best response. Now, you may say, Jonathan, why do you need to ask that last part? Well, maybe I've just forgotten some things that I should be telling to ChatGPT. Maybe I've missed something relevant and it needs to know that in order to do a great job. This will help me do that. So it's asked me some questions. We can see what those are here a minute. Let's go ahead and walk through. Now, everybody always asks when I get these, do I have to answer all 6 of these questions? No, you don't have to answer all of these. It'll just assume, again, if we don't want to do that. But if we want to, this will help. So what's the customer's name and how should we address them? Let's just go ahead for this case and I'll say Peter. We'll just leave the name Peter in. And I'm going to put 1 just so it knows who we're dealing with. We'll call it Peter H. Now I'm going to do enter, but if you guys, a little tip here, if you press enter, ChatGPT is going to run and start processing. If I want to do a carriage return from old typewriter days, I'm dating myself, or go to a new line, I want to press shift enter, and that'll allow me to go to a new line like I did without sending ChatGPT off to the races, so to speak. So order details. Do I have any specific details about the order? No, nothing needs to be done. 3, reason for return. Did the customer provide a reason for returning it? Yeah, it just says he didn't like them. Number 4, policy information. Do you have a specific return policy or any text that needs to be included? No, just a policy. No specific wording. And let's see, we should have number 5. Let's scroll down here a little bit. Alternative solutions. Are there alternative solutions or compensations you can offer the customer? Yes, we'll offer $20 off his next shoe purchase. And number 6, tone. Do you have formal, or let's say professional and friendly? So we're going to answer that, and now let's see what comes up. All right, so it provided the details, and there, that quickly it's come out and said, Dear Peter, thank you for reaching out to ABC Apparel regarding your return of your recent shoe purchase. We appreciate your business and strive to provide you with the best customer experience possible. I like that. Professional, letting them know we still want to value them. That's great. Reviewing your request, we regret to inform you that we are unable to accept the return of your shoes as they have been worn and soiled. Our return policy specifies that we cannot take back used or sold merchandise to ensure the highest quality and safety standards of all of our customers. We understand this might be disappointing news, and we apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. As a gesture of goodwill and appreciation for your understanding, we would like to offer you a $20 off your next shoe purchase with us. We hope this can make up for any inconvenience and encourage you to find a pair of shoes that better suit your preferences. If you have any questions or need assistance with anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer service team. We're here to help you and want to ensure your satisfaction with our products and services. Thank you for understanding, and we look forward to serving you again soon. Guys, I got to say, that's pretty good. I like that. That's a pretty good email. That gives me some really good information and lets me be really relevant to how everything's carrying through. That's really helpful. Let's see, we got a new comment in here. I've not proofless. Let's take a look. From Woodcrafter, your prompts have helped me learn about what I need to know to run my business. I appreciate it. Oh, good. Woodcrafter, thank you for that. That's our goal. We want to help you learn how to leverage this prompting for your business. It really is and should be that easy to do. Again, we want to do that. We want to help you guys know how to answer, how to use these prompts to answer questions, to facilitate getting more work done, anything along the way. That's what we're here for. We really want to do that. So if you guys have questions about that, let me know. I don't see any other questions in the chat at the moment. We do have quite a few people online though, so you may be thinking, don't hesitate. Do you guys have any questions about AI at all? Is there anything I can do to answer your questions or provide value to you? If so, just let me know. I'm here. I'd love to chat with you guys about that. I'd love to provide any value if we can do that. I'm throwing a ticker up here on the bottom just so you guys can see that in case you've got any questions about that course offer. Again, you do not need to purchase my course, but you certainly are welcome to do so. And again, I'm giving you a special price. And don't forget, half the proceeds are going to go to Jeff for all the help he gives me. That's just an easy way I can say thank you to him. So just some thoughts there. Any other questions? I'm going to go back to the chat here and take a look. We've got a thank you for Jeff. Yes, Jeff, thank you so much. We do appreciate everything you do. You're a huge help. Chris, I appreciate your comments as well. That's fantastic. Greatly appreciated across the board. We really do value that. Can I show us Midjourney? Yeah, I can show you guys Midjourney. Jeff just asked, can we show Midjourney? Let's see here. Oh, no, Rick actually got me when I clicked on the one. Which AI image generator can I feed an image and have it change it around like a picture that we used for this webinar? So, Rick, for this webinar, I actually created the background in Midjourney, and then I actually put it together using a tool called Canva. And that's where I added the text and the overlay and things like that. So that's definitely how I would recommend doing that. Keep in mind when we're using AI image tools, and this is a really good question, AI imagery tools don't necessarily have the ability to make specific edits exactly the way you want. For example, they regularly get text wrong. It's just part of the nature of how things work. That's just, I'd love to tell you they don't. They do. There's nothing I can do about it. They get things wrong. It's just the way that works. And so be aware of that. The other thing is we can ask it to make some changes, but it doesn't necessarily do a great job with that. Now, DALL-E has released some new updates. That's not Midjourney. That's ChatGPT's image generation, and we can do some stuff with that. I'll be happy to show you that and see what we can do there. Let's go ahead. Jeff had asked earlier, and I wanted to get to this. Jeff's question is, can you show us Midjourney if I have time? I do, and so I'll show you that. We've got a couple other questions that'll pop up too, just so you guys know I'm seeing these. Linda asked, do you have a system for saving, categorizing, and reusing prompts? So I do. I save most of my prompts, Linda, in a tool called Evernote. Google has a similar note called Keep that you can use, and I put my prompts in there. Although I'll be honest, I rarely save prompts anymore because when I follow that prompting framework that I shared with you guys, just a reminder, let me put that back up on screen so you guys can see that prompt framework. If you want to grab an example there, let me go back here a couple slides, get back to the framework. There we go. That's the framework. And I want you guys to remember, we'll make it a little bit bigger so you can grab a screenshot if you want. Whoops. Made it bigger and I changed what slide I was on. There we go. So I want to remind you, if you know this framework and you start using it, it really does prove to be very helpful in crafting prompts. So very rarely, Linda, am I actually saving prompts anymore. I'm generally just writing them because it's so easy to do when I follow this framework. But if you want to save them, I recommend Evernote or Keep or something like that. Let's go. I'm not proofing comments here, guys. So if I get embarrassed, you can get embarrassed right along with me. Let's see. Don asks, I've been helping new authors for the past few years with websites, blogs, and social media. What suggestions do you have for introducing them to the world of AI and ChatGPT? Wow, that's a loaded question and a good one, Don. I would highly recommend if you're trying to get somebody new, get them to join the Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group. Again, there's zero cost to be involved in that, and it provides so much value. I'm going to go see if I can provide a link here in a minute. Jeff has provided as well, but I know I've got one in here somewhere. It's so helpful, again, to be able to put that together. Here we go. I'm going to put that down in the comments here. That should go across the board to everybody. So, and that link's a little longer than we need. Let me go see if I can clean that up a little bit. Let's see here. There we go. We're just cleaning that up a little bit to make it a little bit easier to see. There you go. That link should get you right to the group. So, Don, if you're trying to get new people, and I'd start there because it's free, it's easy. If you're giving them any guidance and coaching, find something that they're doing that you could help with. For example, if you're working with authors or clients and stuff like that, you mentioned you're working with new authors, have them use it to help come up with title ideas for their next book or their next short story. Have them help ideate by putting together an outline for their next short story they're going to put together or their next book they're going to write. Use it to help brainstorm and do things like that. I think that will get them intrigued really simply and fastly and go, again, prove to be helpful. So, Jeff, I've not forgotten about you. We are going to get over to Midjourney. Woodcrafter asked, do I think AI will ever get to the point where it will spell typographically correctly? Yes, I do. I actually think we're going to be there probably by the end of the year. But keep in mind that one of the reasons it doesn't spell correctly at the moment is, or at least not consistently, is because of the fact that it's looking at those letters as pixels, not as letters like we are. So we think it's easy. Just put an L on it. Or if we're going to type in prompting, just put PROMPTING. No big deal. To AI, that's a series of individual pixels and dots it's putting together. And it's looking at that as a shape and not as a letter. So I do think we're a ways away from that, but I do think we will get there. And I think when we do, obviously, that will be productive for everybody across the board. So yes, I do think we're going to get there. Let's see, we've got a number of other things that we talked about that. Don likes that. Good idea. So Jeff, I haven't forgotten about you. Let's go ahead. Let me share Midjourney here a minute. I've got to get it opened up on my computer first. So Midjourney works through a different software. It's called Discord. Once you've created a certain number of images, they do have a new website they've just released and you have access. But for the most part, Midjourney works through a process called Discord, and you need to, it's a little bit time consuming to set up. It's not hard, but it does take a minute to set up. Bear with me. I'm trying to scale my windows here. I have a brand new monitor and things are not working the way I want. There we go. So let's go ahead and go over and talk about Midjourney for a moment. All right. I want to share my screen. Let's see here. We want to share screen here. Oops, not that screen. Let's see, can we change where that is? So we've got a brand new tool today in, or updated in the software that I use. And sometimes it does things differently. Let's see if I can try adding another scene. Let's try this here a minute. I want to share my screen. Nope, it only wants to go over to that one screen. How can I fix that? Let's see here. Let's add a source in real quick. Let's add in a screen share. Let's go to a window. We'll get there yet, guys. I appreciate your patience. Let's see here. I just need to find the right one. I've got too many windows open. No big surprise there. All right, let's share that. And there we go. All right, we've got Midjourney up, folks. So again, as I mentioned, this actually uses what's called Discord. Chris, I see your comment there. When you try to use Midjourney, it ends up adding a random leg or two. Yes, Midjourney's been known to do that. All the tools have been. They are getting much better, though. So let's just go ahead and resize this window. Hopefully that'll make it appear a little bit better on screen. It's close. We'll go with it. Close enough for what we're doing right now. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you exactly how we can get into Midjourney and use this. So this is using Discord, as I mentioned, and you can see some of the past images here that I've created. I create a lot of Pixar styled images. If you want to create a picture, what you really want to do is you just want to start off, and we call it what's called an imagine command. So we're going to start with imagine, and then we're going to type what it is. Jeff, you were in chat there. If anybody else, if you got any type of image that you'd like me to create, go ahead and put that in there, and I'll make sure that we do that. Looks like we've lost our screen. How did we lose our screen? Let's go back and try to get this back again. No, I seem to have lost it. Let's try one more time here. Let's add my source. I know you're just seeing a big blue screen right now, guys. I apologize. Let's see if this shares it back. We are having difficulty with the new system. I love it when that happens. So we've got a brand new system and it's not working well for us. So we're going to go back out. We'll get back out of this. Let's see if any of these other scenes work. Nope, we are back out. So, guys, I do apologize, but it looks like Midjourney with the new updates to Restream today, not AI, but just the tool that I use, are not going to allow us to share that really well. But tip on Midjourney: if you're interested, I did just recently do a webinar talking about Midjourney images. If you go to my YouTube channel, which I will share with you guys here in just a moment, you guys can go out there and you can find that video and see if I can even find a link to it. We'll share that here in a minute, and it will do a lot of walkthrough on what we've done there and help you understand Midjourney and a whole bunch of things related to that. Let's see, we'll do a quick search. By the way, all of my videos, when they're done, get posted up to my channel. So if you ever miss any of these live replays, they are playing out here, and we'll give you an opportunity to see them. Let me share this going on. It's interesting. Well, maybe you guys are seeing it. So I'm looking at the live. It's interesting. We're running a live on YouTube, and I'm looking at that as we're going through. According to the live, we are still actually seeing my Midjourney, but according to what I'm seeing on Restream, we're not. So I don't know what's actually happening here. We're going to assume for the purposes that what I'm seeing on Restream is accurate, and that's where we're at. Here is a link, by the way, over to my YouTube page. You guys are welcome. I've got hundreds of videos up there, and there is a recent one there as well. So, Jeff, if you could help me, can you let me know, are you seeing me with a red banner at the bottom, or are you seeing my Midjourney and my Discord? Can you let me know what we're seeing there? Because it's looking a little bit different on YouTube, and I want to make sure that I'm actually seeing the same thing. Don asked, well, Jeff's confirming that. Is there a cost to use Midjourney? Yes. Currently, Midjourney is one of the tools you cannot use for free. Thank you guys for letting me know, Chris and Jeff, that we're seeing the red banner. Julie, thank you very much. There is a cost to use Midjourney. On a pricing level, I believe it starts at $6 a month. One of the things I like about it is it does give you what I consider at least to be a really good license that you can use. So I'm very comfortable using the Midjourney images across the board. To me, that's a really big deal. I want to make sure that we can use those and have the license to use those, and I'm very comfortable with that, the way that it works out with them. So that is a big part of why I use that and why I like that overall. So to me, again, I like Midjourney a lot because of that. Let's see. What other questions do you guys have? If you want a QR code, by the way, we'll put a little different message up there. You guys can scan that QR code with your phone if you're watching on a computer, or you can go to the link that we've shown earlier. That's how you can get that AI prompting mastery course. And again, through Wednesday night at midnight, it's just $99 one time. That covers the whole course and all updates for the rest of 2024. So yeah, some great questions, guys. I really appreciate the questions that are coming through. I would love to do it. Don just clarified it's $8 a month for the basic plan. Don, thank you for that. That's very good to know. I appreciate that. So thank you for that. Super helpful to see and helpful to know. Any other questions you guys have got? I've got another 10 minutes. I can hang on. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to do that. But I would love to see if you got not seeing. Okay, good. Yeah, Midjourney, for whatever reason, I was running into a problem with sharing, guys. That's entirely on my end. I use a service called Restream.io that I really do like. It allows me to stream to multiple platforms. Right now, for example, we're streaming to multiple Facebook pages, multiple YouTube channels, to LinkedIn, to X, formerly known as Twitter, and others. I really like that ability, but they just updated the interface today, and me and my ADD thought it'd be really fun to use the new interface. I like a lot of it. Sharing that extra screen didn't work the way we wanted to, so I can't help you on that one. But I do want to thank you guys for joining me. Let's see. Chris asked a question here. Let's take a look here a minute. What tools do you use to proof your context to make sure it doesn't get flagged as AI generated? Oh, Chris, I'm so glad you asked that question. So I'm probably not going to make you happy with my response, but I don't care if they think it's AI generated. I care if it's helpful. And the reason is that's what Google cares about, and that's what your audience cares about. I don't care what you read. Google's come out and said they do not care if your content is AI generated. That is not a concern to them. What is a concern to them is whether or not it's helpful to your audience. So I do not trust any of the AI checkers, and I admittedly, even in my agency, and we create lots of AI assisted content to help our clients, we don't even check any AI checkers. We do check for plagiarism, and we check to make sure with a human that it's been proofread and works well, but we do not use any AI checkers because candidly, they've been proven to be wrong. The most the best ones out there, when you feed it aspects of like the Constitution from the US, tell it that there's an 80+% chance that it was written by AI because it was written using formal English. One of the things to keep in mind is AI has been trained on lots and lots of that literature is now what we call public domain literature. So it's at least 25 plus years old, if not 50 years old. So anytime you get people that are writing properly, I'll say in air quotes, it's more likely to be considered AI content. But again, don't worry about it. Your studies show your audience doesn't care and Google doesn't care. They want it to be helpful. Now, one of the things we talked about the other day, and I did just do a YouTube video on this that might be relevant for you here, Chris, is how to get ChatGPT and the other tools to write content in your tone and style that sounds more like you. And for example, how to give it negative keywords so it doesn't use things that you don't want it to use. Certain keywords that get used all the time, you can go ahead and tell it not to use those. So that can help out a ton. But again, just my personal perspective, don't worry about those AI image or the AI checkers. They're false. Even the one that my son's school used. So my youngest is 16, does virtual high school. His school uses one. I won't say the name of it because I don't want to call anybody out. And it even says right in their terms of service, do not use our findings to punish or penalize any student because, and I'm paraphrasing here, we're basically making a best guess. We don't really know when we do this. So don't worry about the AI checkers. Again, I run an agency. We do a lot of content marketing. We check for plagiarism, but we do not check for anything else. Hopefully that was helpful, Chris. Thank you for the feedback on that. That is great, and I'm very grateful for that across the board. Any other questions? Anything else that I can do for you guys? I've got about 5 minutes left. Anybody have any questions? I'm happy to hang out and answer any questions. So let's see. Jeff just sent me a really long one here. I don't know what that is. So if you see that in comments, that's great. Jeff, I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. That's not going to appear on my screen, but you'll see that up in the comments. Jeff's got a 15-minute of fame across all social media channels. I think he's doing, Jeff, is that the kind of the business spotlight that I did the 91-day thing on, and you're doing as well? Am I right on that? Is that the same thing? If you can let me know, that's great. If it is, it's really cool. Basically, if you're looking to promote your business, Jeff will interview you online for free. Yeah, it is. He said it is. So he'll interview you live online. You'll go out to not only his social media channels, which I know is tens of thousands of people, but you can link up yours as well and go out to your social media. So if you're looking to promote your business and you want something to do for free, again, I told you how much value Jeff brings. There's a great example. He'll interview you for free, no strings attached. Correct me if I'm wrong on anything I'm saying, Jeff. And you guys can have 15 minutes of fame where you'll go live on multiple social media channels. And then you can use that video to promote your business as well. So imagine getting interviewed by a professional, somebody like Jeff, and having that available. So Jeff, thanks for sharing that offer. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Anybody else have any questions we can do? One thing I would love for you guys as we're wrapping up here, I would love to know what other topics you guys like. We've had good attendance here today, and some good feedback, but I'd love to know what are the AI topics you've want. Today we talked about AI prompting. We talked about how to make AI write like you last week. The week before, I believe we talked about some mid-journey things, but I'd love to know the things that you guys would like to be trained on, the type of training you'd love to see here. My goal is to do a webinar every single week, adding value to you guys. I'm a huge proponent of AI. I want people to be using it. I want to give you the tools and the insight to be able to do that. I'd love to know from your perspective what you'd like to be able to do. So that would be really cool. Let's see here. Dan's got a question. Let's see here. For in the future, what's the best way to submit for your review and or response? So if you want to get a hold of me, probably the best way to do that is to post a comment in my AI prompting group. So I shared that with you. It's a Facebook group. It's AI/ChatGPT prompts for entrepreneurs. And if you just tag me in any post that you make, then I will absolutely see it. I don't encourage you to message me directly. You can, but I will be honest, I get hundreds of them, and Facebook has gotten to the point that they filter. If you're not already connected with me, they almost always get filtered to my spam. And then I get people that are frustrated because I'm not responding to them. I'm never trying to ignore your questions. Seriously, never. But if you would go in the group and you would just tag me in the group. You can do that by putting an @ in my name, Jonathan Mast. I'll see that and I'll be happy to respond to your question. My team also monitors that, and we're there to help out with new prompts and things like that as well. So those are things you can do. Jeff's sharing a link here to the course again. If you guys want, that'll be there. Like I mentioned, this is my way of giving back to Jeff for all the help that he gives. And it is a good reminder. It's a one-time investment of $99 that includes all the course. And if you've been paying attention, you know, I've been saying for a long time, don't buy AI courses because they're outdated the moment you buy them. This course is different, thanks to my wife. She challenged me and she said, so why don't you update it every month? If they're always outdated, because AI is changing so rapidly, why don't you update it every month? And so that's what I've committed to do. And if you get the course, it includes all of the updates for the rest of 2024. Let's see what we've got. We've got thanks so much for this. Yes, Chris, thank you for the kind words. We so appreciate you guys. We'd love to know. Larry's asking, will there be a replay of this? Yes, there will be. So if you signed up, I'll be sending you a link to the YouTube replay. You'll get that in the next 24 hours. You also can go out to my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and I'll be posting this in the AI group as well. The replay will be getting posted there in the AI group as well. So because we go live, this will be available anytime. It takes probably 10 minutes after we end this for it to be live, but it'll be available on all of those. What question for you guys? What things would you guys like us to talk about in future webinars? Any topics, please put them in the comments. We'd love to hear about them. We really do want to serve you guys. We want to add value to what you're doing. Let us know. Let's see. We got a comment from Rick. Rick says, great course. Rick, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. You know, it's really cool. I don't know everybody on the call here. I do know a couple of you. Rick happens to be an old friend of mine that I've known now for many, many years. And it's so cool that when I see not only entrepreneurs that I know that are interested in AI, but then I see some of my old friends like Rick jump on. Rick, it's just a joy to see you on here. I'm thankful for that. Thankful you took the time to join us today. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. Anything else you've got? We've got about a 60-second countdown before we call it quits. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. One last request for me. If this course was, or if this masterclass, this webinar, whatever you want to call it, if this was valuable to you, if it was worthwhile getting a chance to learn that AI prompting framework, and I'll go ahead and bring that up right here. If it was valuable, would you guys do me a favor and just put a 1 in the response and let me know? That will really, really help me know that we're adding value. If it wasn't valuable, please put a 2. I hope I don't see many, but I want to know as well. If it was valuable, please put a 1. If it was a 2, Julie said, thank you. I appreciate that. We see a 1. Great. Yes, Don, we're glad to have you here. I'm seeing more 1s. Guys, thank you so much. Again, I want to add value, so we really, really appreciate that feedback. Am I vain? No, this doesn't get published anymore, but it lets me know we're on target and on track. And obviously, when it's me doing a monologue like this, those 1s are super helpful. Let me leave you with this as we're wrapping up. If you want to remember this, I'm happy to send this. I've got this in my group as far as easy to find, but you also can grab a screenshot of this if you want. Go ahead. I'll leave this up here for the next 30 seconds or so. Go ahead and grab that screenshot, and you guys can have this anytime you need it. And with that, I hope I will see you online in my free AI group. There again, no cost to join that. Just go ahead and join us on Facebook. We'd love to have you there. It's AI/ChatGPT prompts for entrepreneurs. As of this morning, we're over 95,000 people. I think actually over 97,000. We'll be breaking 100 here soon, I'm sure. We'd love to have you be part of that group. And there's tons and tons and tons of free information from me and others in that group. So again, thank you guys. Jeff, special thanks to you for all your help. And for those who don't realize, Jeff's in Manila. It's 4:30 in the morning for him right now, and he's still on here helping out. Talk about a guy with a great servant's heart. Jeff, we so appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day, and I hope I will see you on the next webinar. Bye-bye, everyone.